The movie begins with a young boy named Simon who used to live with his girlfriend Fabian. Both Simon and Fabian are cartoon artists who cohabitate in order to distance themselves from their disapproving families, most of whom are doctors that do not appreciate their artistic nature. On the day of Simon's father's 60th birthday party, Simon decides to bring Fabian along and introduce her to his family as Simon and Fabian embark on their journey. Simon returns home after a 6-month absence to visit his parents at the party. Simon encounters numerous family members, all of whom happen to be doctors, despite their presence. Simon becomes captivated by a mysterious woman at the gathering, but he fails to recognize her. Eventually, Simon discovers that the mysterious lady is involved with his father and serves as his new secretary. Simon's father, Carl, is a psychiatrist, and his family has grown accustomed to his habit of changing romantic partners. Carl is notorious for having multiple girlfriends and has a reputation for transforming his patients into secretaries and subsequently into romantic partners in contrast. Simon's mother is deeply troubled by her marriage situation and does not approve of her husband's infidelity despite being married. However, she lacks the power to address the issue since she works under Carl and feels compelled to tolerate the situation. After the party, Simon's mother informs him about Carl's new secretary, Sonia, who is the same woman who had caught Simon's attention earlier. She reveals that his father plans to go on a trip with Sonia, an event that will undoubtedly lead to the dissolution of their marriage, concerned about her relationship. Simon's mother implores him to substitute for her at the clinic so that she can accompany Carl on the trip and spend some quality time with him. Otherwise, Sonia would take her place, resulting in the end of their marriage. Reluctantly, Simon takes pity on his mother and agrees to stand in for her. At the clinic, as a result, Carl is compelled to bring his wife along on the trip while Simon is left alone with Sonia at the clinic. After that, Sonia and Simon sit together. She complains to him that if he hadn't replaced his mother, she would have gone on the trip with Carl. She believes that the trip would have helped strengthen their relationship. However, Simon doesn't pay much attention and casually responds that his father has many girlfriends, which is normal for him. Sonia ponders for a moment, and once they are inside the house, she tells Simon that their relationship isn't like that. She informs him that he doesn't know anything about them and asks him to keep his opinions to himself. Upon hearing this, Simon assumes that Sonia and his father are involved in a deep relationship, so he decides to leave. The following day, Simon overhears Sonia talking to someone on her phone. He notices that Sonia mentions having a family and children while lamenting that she has nothing and asking the person not to waste her time. Simon realizes that despite being on a trip with his mother, Simon's father is still in contact with Sonia, and it was him whom Sonia spoke to on the phone. Simon and Sonia were assigned the task of transcribing Carl's lectures and interviews from recorded videos into written text. This job was quite challenging, and both Simon and Sonia found it exhausting. One day, Sonia confides in Simon that his father loves her and openly expresses his love to others. However, despite being in a relationship with her, he is enjoying holidays with his wife. Sonia becomes emotional and starts crying, revealing that she has not settled and lacks a family. She expresses her desire to start a family by going on a trip with his father and marrying him. Simon, believing that his father is in the wrong, offers tissues to Sonia and tries to comfort her in the midst of her emotional state. Sonia kisses him, but Simon pulls back, realizing the complexity of their actions. Simon steps outside and contemplates what he's doing. He realizes that he cannot get closer to Sonia because his mother entrusted him with the responsibility of keeping her away from his father. Simon finds himself trapped inside the complex dynamics of his family. Fabian informs him that they have a cartoon show in 2 weeks, but they have made no preparations because Simon is busy with family matters. The following day, Simon apologizes to Sonia for what happened between them, but she takes it lightly, as it was normal for her when Simon asks her not to tell his father about it. Sonia informs him that she has already told him that she is seeing a guy after him, but she has not revealed Simon's name. She did this to ruin his trip. Simon finds it strange and becomes curious about Sonia as he has to spend time with her. After Sonia leaves, Simon starts looking for information about her. He knows that Sonia has been his father's patient, so he decides to look for her file. Eventually, he finds her file and learns that Sonia was a patient with suicidal tendencies and was treated by his father. Simon keeps the files, and the next day Sonia learns that her files are missing as the files are confidential between her and Carl. She starts looking for them and eventually finds them in Simon's possession. Sonia takes the files and rushes to a room trying to hide her suicidal tendency from everyone, but Simon knows it. Simon approaches the room where Sonia is crying emotionally, so he approaches her. When Simon attempts to snatch the files, Sonia turns and kisses him. This time Simon also fails to resist and kisses her back passionately. Sonia stops him and mentions that someone can come here, so they must go down to the basement. As Sonia opens the door, they find her workers at the clinic who give instructions to Sonia. Simon hides behind the door after everyone leaves. Sonia leads Simon to the basement room. Simon does not understand, as he was not meant to be doing this, as he was here to keep Sonia away from his father. But now he is falling in love with Sonia. Sonia leads him inside the room and seduces him. Simon can't control himself and they end up having sex after making love. Sonia asks Simon to get into her car and she will drop him off at his house. Simon sits in the car with Sonia and Sonia drops him near his house before Simon can leave. Sonia asks him to pay a visit to her. Simon leaves after kissing and assuring her that he will visit her someday. On his way home, Simon finds Fabian with one of her friends at a restaurant, and when Simon approaches her, she reveals that they have a cartoon festival within a few days, so she needs someone to help her. Simon does not like the idea of Fabian being with someone else. At lunch, before Simon can leave, Fabian kisses him and asks him to get free as soon as possible, because she needs him. Simon leaves, but he starts doubting Fabian, thinking that she has started a new relationship with her friend. Simon decides to follow Fabian and her friend. Ultimately, he finds Fabian completely dissolved in her preparations for the Cartoons Festival. Simon meets her and asks why she's changed so quickly. Fabian informs him that Simon is busy with his family matters and needs someone's favor in preparing for the festival, and that she has been preparing for this event for a long time. Simon gets confused, as he does not want to lose his girlfriend and does not want to hurt his mother. Suddenly, he receives a call from his mother, who asks him to keep working on her behalf for a few more days, as they are having a good time. After that, Simon takes his girlfriend to a nightclub where they have fun together, but during this he remains worried. Eventually, he reveals that he has made love with Sonia, which infuriates Fabian, and she leaves him. After a while, Simon receives a text from Sonia, who informs him that tomorrow is Saturday and invites him to her apartment. Simon goes to see her, and after having a small chat, they start kissing each other and end up making love again. Following that, Sonia serves dinner to Simon, and they gossip a lot while having dinner. The next morning, Simon learns that Sonia has left for the market to buy a few things, and then he finds a picture of Sonia with his father, and understands that his father would have given his apartment to Sonia. All of a sudden, Carl arrives there after enjoying his vacation, and he is stunned by seeing Simon there. When asked, Simon counter-questions his father about what he is doing here. Carl informs him that he owns the apartment and is here to get a book. Carl then informs Simon that Sonia wants a baby, and he cannot give her one because he has had a vasectomy surgery. Meanwhile, Sonia arrives, and she ignores Carl for leaving her behind and kisses Simon instead when Carl tries to talk to her. Sonia asks Simon whether he slept well or not, which leaves a strange smile on Simon's face. Carl replies to Simon that he has nothing to do with their relationship, but can tell his mother about this. Simon meets his mother, and she is shocked to learn about his relationship with Sonia. She blames herself for this, but she has no other option, as there is no use in crying over spilled milk. Simon's mother accepts this relationship, and after a few days, Sonia gives birth to Simon's child, as Carl was sterile when he had a relationship with Sonia. Sonia's life is set as she got an apartment from Carl and a baby from Simon, but still she asks Simon to love her. Sonia lives with Simon and his family, and she hands over her baby to Simon, who looks at the baby and gets happy for a while. But still, he is confused, thinking about how settled his life was. 1 year ago with Fabian, now he has become entangled with his family's complex network. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can get more videos like this.